Yo, Dom here, the most metal cripple on YouTube. Let's do the Q&A. I got just enough questions, I think, to do a Q&A. Let's go to the comments on a couple of my videos. Um, right off the bat, first memories of grunge, listening to grunge music, favorite grunge music videos, etc. Let me just take these one. Let me go one at a time here. First memories of listening to grunge. Oh man. Uh, I think my first memories were seeing videos for Nirvana and Pearl Jam, like 1991. Um, I was at my grandparents' house because they had MTV. We didn't at the time, and I didn't actually have an opinion on it. I mean, I was a kid, but I didn't know what to think of it. Um, it wasn't like love at first sight or anything, but eventually I grew to love Nirvana. They were my favorite band when I was like 9 or 10. Um, I think those were my first. I think that was my first exposure. I got Pearl Jam's 10 on cassette for my birthday one year. That was a big deal. I listened to that tape a lot. Um, Favorite grunge music videos? I don't know. I do love 90s style music videos. Something about the editing and like the general vibe of music videos during the 90s. Not as much the late 90s, but my favorite music videos of all time. Um, well, I've talked about God of Emptiness before, but not metal, but Marilyn Manson had great videos in like 96, 97. There were a lot of different setups, and again, the editing was weird. A lot of videos were influenced by like David Fincher and Seven. You saw that a lot in music videos in around the mid '90s. You saw a lot of videos using that style of editing, that scratchy film look. I don't know the technical term for it, but um, yeah, I love '90s videos in general. Favorite grunge video though, I don't know. Maybe something by Alice in Chains. I do love the video for "I Stay Away," just because I love carnivals and all that nonsense. Um, which grunge slash buttock? I think he means butt rock songs you never need to hear again. Okay, well, first of all, I take umbrage with the the forward slash and then butt rock. Like grunge and butt rock are the same thing. They are not. Butt rock, I think, Creed and Three Doors Down. That's not grunge. Um, but yeah, I don't need to hear "Smells Like Teen Spirit" ever again. "In Bloom" is another one, and they still play these songs not only on FM radio but even on Sirius satellite radio on their grunge channel. They still play these songs. I don't know who they're playing these songs for. Even people who are not into grunge know those songs. They've heard those songs. Um, most of the Pearl Jam singles off of 10 and Verses. I don't need to hear that ever again. Plush. I never liked Plush. I don't know. I do like Stone Temple Pilots, but I don't. I do not need to hear Plush ever again. Ever. I don't know why they play those songs still. It just makes no sense to me. I mean, they have on Sirius satellite radio, they have deep cut channels like the grunge channel Deep Cuts, and they'll play deep cuts. I don't know why they don't play deep cuts more on their main channels. They really need to. Um, because most like Smashing Pumpkins, a lot of that stuff I don't need to hear ever again today. I don't need to hear that ever again. Um, let's move on. Any thoughts you want to share about? Then he lists off some wrestlers here. Um, the Iron Sheik. That was a good film. I recommend the Iron Sheik documentary. That was really interesting. I don't have that big of an opinion on the Iron Sheik one way or the other. I think a lot of his tweets that became famous. I don't know if he actually wrote a lot of those. Um, the Federation era. Yeah, I love old school WWF. Fabulous Rougeau brothers, good tag team. Um, I don't have much to say about them. The Undertaker, I could do a whole video about The Undertaker, and I might. Because I do have a lot of thoughts on The Undertaker. Um, so maybe I should save some of those. But The Undertaker is my favorite wrestler of all time. Um, Chris Jericho, I think it'll be interesting to see what he does in WWE now. Pretty sure he's done with AEW. I am a fan. I really like his WCW stuff. Stone Cold, big fan. Um, I love his match with Bret Hart. Chris Benoit, I'm really not that big of a fan of his stuff. Um, when he became popular in WWE, I wasn't watching at that time. I wasn't watching wrestling when he decided to kill his family and kill himself either. Um, so I really don't have that big of an opinion on Benoit. Savage is one of my favorites of all time. Top three. Love Macho Man Randy Savage. Big fan there. What are your favorite Hammer horror films? Oh wow, that's a good question. Well, I mean, the horror of Dracula is probably my favorite. That's my favorite vampire movie. Well, either that or The Night Flyer. I say The Night Flyer is my favorite. Horror of Dracula is way up there. Um, I love most of the Dracula movies that Hammer did. And the Frankenstein stuff, because I love Peter Cushing. He's one of my favorite actors. Aside from the Dracula and Frankenstein stuff, though. Hmm. The Gorgon? Was that a Hammer film? With Peter Cushing? The Gorgon? I don't even know if that was Hammer. It might have been. That's a good one. I like The Reptile. And let's see what else. Let me name one other one. I need to watch it again, but I liked Plague of the Zombies. They never did any other zombie films, but that was pretty cool. I liked that one. Do you agree that Roddy Piper ruled? Yeah, I do. And They Live is a great movie. It is. Yeah, it is a great movie. And I loved the match that Roddy Piper had against Goldust, where they reenacted the fight scene from They Live. I really dug that. That was cool. I'm a big Goldust fan too. What are your favorite pizza toppings? Pepperoni, onions, green pepper, and if I'm doing another meat, then probably sausage. That's usually what I go with. I don't like to pile on too many toppings, but and I like them. I usually prefer thin crust, and I'll have them cook it like well done so that it's crispy. And yeah, that's now you're just making me hungry. Let's see, Dawn of the Dead, 1978, or the remake. I'm not a huge fan of Dawn of the Dead. I mean, obviously I like it. My favorite Dead film is the original, The Night of the Living Dead. And, the remake is good. I enjoy it just about as much as I do the original. I don't have anything against the original. Um, I was a little let down when I first saw it, but I was a teenager. My teenage opinions are just way. My teenaged opinions are all over the shop. But yeah, I think did I answer the question? Which one do I prefer? Probably the original, but I prefer Night and I prefer Day of the Dead. I prefer Day of the Dead to Dawn of the Dead. Um, the effects alone, that does it for me. Um, let's see. Blah, 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 blah. On the topic of wrestling, are you a WWE guy? AEW, Japan, U.S. Indies? Um, man, that's interesting. New Japan is really struggling right now. New Japan is bland. There are no stars over in New Japan now. I loved New Japan from 10 years ago. 10 years ago, they were sizzling when they had Kenny Omega, um, even the Young Bucks. You could throw them in that category. That contingent eventually became AEW, and they have drained New Japan of pretty much all of the best talent. Um, I don't have enough hours in the day to watch All Japan or Noah. There's so much. I mean, I can barely stay on top of American promotions, and I don't even watch TNA at this point. I wouldn't be opposed to watching TNA. In AEW, I do watch for the most part. I'm not a big fan of it though, to be honest. Um, in indies, I can't keep up with the independent scene. Way too much wrestling. Way too much. Who were some of your favorites as a kid? Um, as a kid, I really liked the Ultimate Warrior. um, and the Undertaker. I became more of an Undertaker fan when I was an adult, though. But yeah, the Ultimate Warrior and Demolition. I still love Demolition. Demolition's my favorite tag team of all time. Totally rad. And nowadays, favorites nowadays, I guess CM Punk. I don't know. I don't really have a favorite, as in, I gotta have all the merch and I gotta get their autograph. I'm not really that kind of fan, but I do like CM Punk. And let's see who else. Trying to think if there's anyone in AEW. Not really. I mean, I still like Kenny Omega a lot. Um, yeah, I guess that's it. I was gonna do another video. Look at my other ugh, words. They fail me. I was gonna look at my road trip video, and there's some questions there, but I think I might save that for another thing because I talked a little longer than I wanted to. Let me see where I'm at here. Yeah, 13 minutes. That's long enough for one video. But keep sending in questions though. I'll find them, whatever video they appear underneath, and I will answer them. And yeah, don't like or subscribe, and I'll see you next time.